It just sounds silly.
So yeah, we're officially recording now. Hut.
Hut. See, it's funny now. See, I'm not crazy.
Fuck. Well, here we are, back again. Podcast number 2. Are we
3?
sticking? Oh, yes, technically 3. Wow, there you go.
Damn.
Doesn't know how to read and write
Are we?
or math.
Are we staying with the name of Now Loading? Is that
I guess
officially
the
our
name
name?
is just always gonna
Now
be
Loading.
So
I thought we were the fighting mongooses.
thought we were the Wildcats
Damn.
because we're all in this together.
Don't.
I'm sorry.
You talk.
This is my last podcast.
If you talk about High School Musical, Jeff is going to show up.
he just appears with a claw.
He goes, "Hut." Yes.
God dang it!
Sorry for that quick interruption. Our summoning process did work.
Apparently,
Jeff
High
is
School
here.
Musical
Yeah.
is actually a seance. Summon.
Wild.
Yeah. So last podcast we talked about a few things. Some things we didn't touch on as much as we would like to, but we will this time. I figured let's start off a little bit with, which will be a good segue into what we're going to go into, is the news for the One Piece live action that we got over the Anime Expo weekend.
Wait, I don't know the news.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Oh, okay.
So, the original voice actors will be reprising their roles in the Japanese dub.
I did see
Oh,
that.
I saw that. Yeah.
There was a video of, I think it's Unyaki is his name, with the original voice actor for Luffy, and she actually does the whole Shanks thing where he's like he gets down and she puts the hat on him, and she's like return the hat to me when you've become a great pirate. So I'm like, oh wow, this is so
watching it in dub
might be good,
might be like
the preferred way.
Yeah.
Because I can't. As much as he looks like Luffy, I can't stand his voice.
I think what it is like we were talking about in the last one.
Yeah.
It's just that that weird uncanny valley of knowing what the anime sounds like and knowing what the English sounds like and being like, because even now if we listen to the One Piece anime with the English dub, we're always just going to be like, hey guys, it's Luffy, you know what I mean? So it doesn't sound good and it doesn't feel genuine if that, is not the rudest way to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It feels like there's less emotion in English dub for sure.
I don't know, because I'm kind of a sucker for Dragon Ball Z's English dub, or a lot of those older animes. I love their dub.
But that's the older animes.
I think.
See, it's hard because I feel like a lot of those actors are the same. I feel like I don't know if it's just the line delivery now or any of that stuff, but because I don't know if you ever see those videos, but it's Kai versus. Original Z, and it has them do the exact same line or the exact same moment, but the lines are different. And some of the lines from the older one just sound way better than the new one, and some of that is just they changed up the words they used or something like that, and it's it doesn't flow as well.
Is it maybe less effort? Since they're established, they don't have to try as hard?
I wonder also though is how much of that is just nostalgia for us.
True.
Because we're always going to
we're more believable when we were kids. Right?
Exactly, yeah. When you hear it the first time as your kind of first watch, because even, when I think about watching either Gurren Lagann or...
that is crazy, because I've never seen Gurren Lagann in
Japanese.
Japanese.
Exactly, you know what I mean?
That's true.
To where you think about
that counts as the 90s, though, right? Late 90s.
I don't know if it's that old.
No, even 2002.
Even for me, personally, I know you're going to be like, what? When I watched Gundam Unicorn, I watched it in English. And so for me, Char sounds a certain way. Yeah. All that stuff sounds a certain way. And then when I listen to it in Japanese, it just doesn't hit the same.
I guess, because
that's true, because
it's weird, yeah.
Gundam, when I watched it in the Philippines, was in English. And then they do a shitty version where it's in Tagalog, and it's just awful. It's bad. There's a whole anime channel in the Philippines. It's all Tagalog.
And really?
It's bad, dude.
See, because that, like you were saying with the whole how Z sounds for us in English, there's a whole, you know, I would say following and world that has only listened to Dragon Ball Z in Spanish.
That's true.
And that has a humongous following.
That's
Well, because
true.
Mexico did what the Philippines did. Instead of paying for their own programming and stuff, they just paid Japan
Yeah.
to be able to put their stuff in like main media.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why anime is so big in Mexico, and that's why anime was big when I was a kid in the Philippines. They didn't want to be original and make their own shit, and just be like, hey, we'll just pay you guys this much money, let's have it.
Yeah. And then, so with that, you know, we get into our first topic. We tried to do it on the last one, and now we're doing it with this one, is the hype versus expectation. Going with, you know, I think One Piece is the perfect example because we, especially in the last 2 episodes, we've talked about One Piece manga, we've talked about One Piece live action.
Oh, we were talking about this at work, too.
Like, the idea of what that means, you know?
And we were talking about this at work, too, not just... So, with manga to anime, there's a lot less deviation. There's changes,
Mm-hmm.
but compared to, like, comic books or
Mhm.
actual books, the deviation from, like, expectation to reality is very, like, varied.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what studio's doing it, the writers, all that stuff. That can make or break any adaptation. Not just manga, but like we were talking about CW, The Arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
First, like how the first 3 seasons were great,
Mhm.
but they try to turn him into Batman.
Exactly, yeah.
essentially. And that's when it started going downhill for me, at least.
I definitely see that because I was somebody, and you know, that was bread and butter of kind of the start of our relationship,
Yeah.
was that we were watching like Arrow, we were watching Flash, and it's like, oh, whoa, when you watch Arrow, you go, oh, that's kind of cool, like everybody's kind of grounded in reality, but after the first like 2 to 3 seasons, you go, but this is comic book, like,
Yeah.
give me the craziness, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
And like Chris pointed this out, they have so much stuff to pull from, and it's just like people that don't either appreciate the source material or like are a fan of it want to make it their own. Like, oh, I'm this director, I want to put my touch into it. Like we were talking about the guy that does Star Wars now, Jon Favreau.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about how since he loves Star Wars, he doesn't want to deviate from
Yeah,
what it is,
exactly,
and
yeah.
it for him it's a passion project.
Mhm.
So but it also shows in the effort and like the stuff that he puts in the world that he does love the
like kind of original
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Star Wars, yeah. Because I will say, like with Jon Favreau and Star Wars, you can tell that even if it's expanded universe stuff, he does it in a way that still fits within this current canon universe.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand why they had to make extended universe legends
Yeah.
because it just if they had to follow extended universe, they have to keep Luke, Leia, and all those guys, and they have to go like they have to follow like a timeline
Mm-hmm.
of like what's happening, but at the same time, it wouldn't be that bad.
See, but this
But
is
I get why they had to introduce a new story, new characters.
What
and
if
all
they
that
only
stuff.
almost did like Marvel did with the what ifs,
Mhm.
but it was just extended universe stuff?
That would be smart. That would be very smart. I think that's what it is too. Is that like because we've had the conversation with Crystal Panther, and we talk about it all the time at work. Is like that idea that at that time extended universe was really the Wild West.
Yeah.
Anybody's smallest idea was like let's
It's
put it in
canon.
there.
But
Let's put
the
it in
cool
there.
thing was George Lucas had to approve.
No, he didn't.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
I
thing.
thought
is
that he had
he
to
didn't
approve.
care. He said
Yeah,
he
was
said
just like,
go
if
ahead
it's-
and do your
Oh.
shit. You know what I mean?
I thought it had to be approved by him.
No.
No, that probably would have helped.
Yeah, no. If it was, they
Oh.
probably would have said, okay, yeah, let's keep all that stuff.
Gotcha. Because I thought like not even by Lucas himself, but like it had to be approved by like the Lucas studio. And no,
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that's
Because
why
there were interviews with him where they asked, "Oh, what do you think of the expanded universe?" And he goes, "I just care about my story.
yeah.
They can do whatever they want in the universe."
And that's the director part of him.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And going into that expectation of what we wanted for the sequel trilogy, what we expected from that extended universe, and
we kind
what
of
we
expected Mara Jade and
exactly
Luke starting up the temple again,
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
So it's like,
which would have been amazing if they were able to do it right.
and that's the thing is that you, even with the induction of it into the Star Wars or the Disney family, when you do that stuff, you kind of have to go, okay, this is our new line. Even though it may be borrowing, you have to give it a linear
Yeah.
connection, and that's why, like with
And they have to think about new audiences.
Boba Fett, with Book of Boba Fett getting kind of like, oh, here's Luke building the temple, and what eventually will turn into its downfall with the sequel trilogy and what we see with Ben Solo and stuff like that, we get on that. Because I honestly, it's hard because, like we had talked about on the last episode, I'm somebody that likes a lot of the stuff that a lot of people end up not liking.
Mm.
And I didn't find the sequel trilogy to be that bad. Of course, there are. Oh, I see that.
Well, yeah, you're great. It's fine. Go on.
Of course, there are things that were not, enjoyable, or you expect things that are, part of that. But I didn't find it to be a game breaker for me. It was just, okay, there were things that could have been better, like the second movie. Or this. Or that was
The second movie in the third trilogy.
the eighth movie. There were things that could have been done better and a lot better, but I can still take that as what it is.
It probably would have helped if they didn't change the director or try to every time.
That would have helped.
Because everyone's like, oh, I didn't like the way he did this. Like Rian Johnson's like, I didn't like how he did this, so I'm gonna retcon all this stuff.
Yeah, which.
But then
yeah.
it ended up being re-retconned in the third movie, which just made everything kind of convoluted.
Yeah, it was very damaging because like Force Awakens by itself is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Even though I think Finn should have been the main character, but this is a different topic for a different time, different place, right? But yeah, then you get that second movie and like he has this like, for lack of a better term, just this hard on for like, oh, we have to destroy the past, we have to let go of the past, we have to get away from the past, and then still relying on Luke to like save them at the end of the movie. It's like, well, you're not even sticking to
what you want.
Yeah, what you're like putting out there is like, this is the main theme of like us moving on from that time. And yeah, and like you said, just like every movie subsequently like changing something about what the previous movie did because it's a different
You think
person.
it had to do with Harrison Ford just not wanting to do Star Wars anymore?
No, I don't think so.
I don't see that, but I think what it was is they wanted to go, with changing the directors, they wanted to go, okay, if we give it to one director, he's going to do it his way. And we don't want Star Wars his way.
Yeah.
We want Star Wars.
Yeah, I think like going back to what you were saying earlier that we were talking about at work about like directors getting in, and even though they have all of this amazing source material, or not even to just like cheat or to like copy, but to just work backwards from.
Mm-hmm.
But like as directors, a lot of time it does feel like they're so stuck on their own artistic vision of what they want to do with the series that you end up
shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, having these situations because it's like, yeah, we went from, if it had just been one person, maybe it's a lot more cohesive. But three people with three different ideas.
I guess that runs into the problem of trying
together.
to replace Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wasn't like the best director ever, but
it's funny though because you have people who were very much in that camp of like, the prequels were bad. We need to get rid of Lucas. It needs to be fresh.
Yeah.
But then now that we've had the sequel trilogies, you have people who are like, I wish we would have got Lucas's sequels because they would have been amazing.
Oh my god!
And
you just can't please anyone.
Yeah.
And the problem is too is the toxicity of Star Wars fans is like top 3 in like some of the most toxic fans out there.
I think too though is that hindsight of what we've been getting now with Jon Favreau and who's the one that did the Clone Wars? He has like the cowboy hat. He's getting a movie now.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Oh,
Filoni.
Yeah, okay, Filoni. Yeah, we were talking about
it. If we would have gotten the sequel trilogy that would have been co-written, co-directed, or whatever by Filoni and Favreau, people would have loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that those people not only are fans,
They're passionate,
but they are
like,
passionate enough to know the lore.
and they're great directors.
Look at the Clone
Yeah.
Wars,
Yeah,
the series. Like it's
because like
Shit, look at the Mandalorian.
yeah, and it's funny because somebody actually, the guy who plays Darth Maul in Clone Wars, there's an interview with him. Is her name Ashley Johnson, the one who plays Ahsoka?
Mm-hmm.
And then the voice actor who plays Obi-Wan. And they're like, oh, hey, do you remember your first day when you corrected the director? And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, there's Darth Maul mentioned something about, I think, a previous battle with Obi-Wan. And he comes through and he's like, hey, wait. He's like, they wouldn't have met yet. And he goes, oh, whoa. He's like, you are very right. He's like, and I need to change that. And it's like, these are the people that we want, you know, in this kind of community, in this production, to be able to check each other.
It's like Taika Waititi asking Natalie Portman if she wants to be in in a Star Wars movie that he's working on. We were talking about this too. Is Padme Amidala the hottest human female in Star Wars? Can you name someone hotter?
Okay, so this is a bad question for me because
He likes aliens.
I love Natalie Portman.
Okay,
Like
she's not an alien.
when I, because you have to think for us, you know what I mean? That came out like
When we were in high school.
No, I think that's closer to junior high, elementary.
2000.
'Cause it's 2000
Phantom Menace, right?
Yeah, so 2000. We're like 6th grade.
Oh yeah.
Like that was when I was like,
Oh, never
you
mind. The last of that trilogy.
would have been in high
Revenge of
school.
the
Yeah.
Sith.
High school, yeah.
Like that is when we start to go through our like prepubescent
Yeah,
phase
yeah.
of like, oh my god, these
But
people are amazing.
It
You know what I
also
mean?
doesn't help that Natalie Portman is one of the most naturally beautiful women on the planet.
Not to mention, she's in some of like my favorite movies.
Black
Two.
Swan.
I actually never seen Black Swan.
Yeah, that's one
I've
of
never
Gio's
seen Black-
favorites.
Boys.
And I know why, Gio. I know why.
Because
If you've seen Black
I know,
Swan,
because she's in Star Wars and then she's in V, which I love.
Oh,
V.
yeah.
Like V is great.
oh,
V from Vendetta, yeah.
With Agent Smith.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like because when V comes out, I'm like older, and I'm like, oh, I'm now a movie enjoyer. So I'm like, okay, like this is cool. Not to mention like finding out V is based on a comic book. You're like, oh, whoa, like I am now a comic book movie enjoyer. But yeah, I think it's hard because
My line down degeneracy.
I know. And this is where my life begins. Is the idea of, and I think this is hard for any time we get into this conversation because we can probably have this conversation over X amount of podcasts, is hype versus expectation can be taken with anything.
Yes.
So last episode we focused heavily on Wonder Woman and Gio's view on that, and now we've kind of moved heavily into Star Wars.
yeah.
So it's hard to not pick up one thing and just keep going with it because either you're gonna say we're talking how hype expectation for One Piece or hype expectation for Jujutsu Kaisen, like
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be talking about anime right now.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
well, and that's
the
hype,
theme of the video
Yeah.
transcends just
Yeah.
anime. But even in the anime space of just like you said, like reading the manga, kind of having an idea of like the voice in your head, maybe the music you're listening to, and how that all impacts how you indulge within that
There's so
manga
much
while
source
you're reading
material.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like by the time you get to the anime, even if it's fine, it might not feel the same.
yeah.
Because unlike the EU where it's maybe book form,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of like imagination in manga. Like you see
Oh
what's
yeah.
happening.
Oh yeah.
So like once you see that like in your excuse me, in your head, and then they animate it and it's just not what you expected, I wouldn't say you're disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
but you're just like, oh, I thought it was gonna be a little flashier or a little more explosion.
Yeah. See, and that's going into it. It's because we had talked about it in terms of Attack on Titan, when because we all know my view on Attack on Titan. But
Trash.
it's crazy the idea when when we first started talking about Attack on Titan, you're like, oh, it's okay, but the manga arc sucks.
Yeah.
And the anime does a lot better
The
job.
anime does save that.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Five
oh
years.
wow, like here it is, somebody who actually is seeing, you know, is able to like the content but still give it constructive criticism without hating.
Kind of
it.
like you with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I think Jujutsu Kaisen, the anime is great.
But
And
you don't
season
like the
2,
art, yeah.
but I don't like how it plays out in the. That's the one manga that I can't read, and kind of give my idea of like, oh, this is how it is. This is how it's gonna play out. These are how people sound. Blah blah blah. Because that's a very good leeway into our next subject, which is all the new coming anime that's yet to be released. That's going to be released near the end of the week here of us filming.
Well, I can start that because I do, for the hype and expectation thing, I do think that there is also a positive that can come out of that. And that's going to lead directly into this topic because I think Bleach has done a phenomenal job of not only meeting expectations with the 1,000-Year Blood War, but surpassing them.
Yes.
Because because unfortunately the last arc is very rushed because like Taikuba was sick and Shonen was kind of pressing him to keep going. So there is a lot of nuance and a lot of stuff that's just like he kind of had to gloss over. And spoilers alert, I mean, the manga's been out for a couple months now, or the anime's been out and the manga's been done for years. But that fight between Kenpachi and Unohana, it's very short in the manga, and they actually expanded in the anime, and in doing so, they kind of gave it more like, they made it better.
Yeah. Even the fight with the Master Fire dude.
Yamamoto.
Yeah, even his fight, like,
Yeah.
as I read it and then watching it, it's two completely different things.
Yeah, but it's perfect.
Oh,
like,
it's perfect.
because like
perfect.
yeah, like
It
gives
shows
you
how
that-
powerful
yeah.
he is,
Mhm.
and it shows you how smart Yawak is.
Yeah.
See, that's funny because like you're saying, giving the anime the ability to transcend
yes.
the source material. You have, when we talked about it last week, One Piece and its pacing. The Luffy versus Donuts.
Katakuri.
Katakuri.
Yeah.
It plays exactly how it is in the manga.
Damn, you forgot
And
his name? That's your favorite character?
Katakuri, no, he's not.
One of your favorite characters.
But like you see how it plays 1-to-1, and you're like,
Donuts.
I'm tired of. I love that. Like when he's laying down, he's just like.
Homer Simpson over here. Yeah,
But you get tired of like waiting because you go, okay, we're jumping to see everybody else's stuff, and it's like, just focus on this. Just focus on this, and then give me the next episode with that.
And I get it. They're trying to pay homage like 1-1 to the manga, but there's some stuff that just doesn't work in anime.
Yeah.
Which I applaud One Piece for doing it, and I mean I'm not shitting on One Piece. One Piece is one of my top favorite anime. But like the way they do it, like it just doesn't. It's not supposed to work in anime, and they just keep trying to do it, and it's like, I get it, but they shouldn't.
Yeah, going with that, you're somebody who's read Jujutsu. I've read Jujutsu, and I know even you haven't read it, but you were even a latecomer to Jujutsu. I remember like working with you some of the first times and being like, "Hey, dog, you see Jujutsu Kaisen?" And you're like, "No, I haven't." And I was like, "Man, I really want to like talk to somebody about this."
Yeah.
And Ty was there, and he's read it, and he's watched it, and he's, even he was like, "Come on, Chris, you gotta watch it, bro. You gotta watch it, bro." And it was like around the time the movie had come out.
Yeah.
Oh, you were that late?
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh man.
But going into
because
this,
it was only me and you that went, right?
I went with Void to go see it.
I might have gone with Gio.
Honestly, I think I saw it twice.
No, I
think-
went
yeah,
with you.
we-
Yeah. I was like, no, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, because that second time I was falling asleep, bro.
Oh no.
And I've talked about it already with the movie. It's just a lot of retelling of kind of the
Yeah.
baseline story of how the group works. But going into season 2, I am very excited. I am very excited to see the Guido Gojo
Flashbacks.
kind of like, together. Because honestly, as maybe this is controversial, but like Guido is my favorite character. I love the way Guido is. I want to make a shirt, but I don't know how R-rated I can make this shirt.
Oh.
And it's like the...
So, I mean, my favorite character is Megumi's dad.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
All right,
he's so
hold
sick.
on.
Okay, no
Oh,
spoilers.
yeah, 'cause-
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
But I love that scene in the movie when we finally get kind of like the vision of how his power works,
Mhm.
and like, because you've seen the movie, right?
No.
Oh my god, dude! But you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And it's like I want to do it because it looks so cool. I that's the one thing I think Jujutsu does very well is they show demons and like curses.
Who's the development or the group?
Nappa.
Is Mappa?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
They do demons and curses very grotesque, and I love it. I like the way it looks.
And that's one thing too, because like in a lot of mangas or to anime adaptations, they do try to tune it back,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not doing that
No.
with Jujutsu Kaisen,
Yeah.
which I love.
I know we have Mushoku Tensei coming up, which you've watched.
And Red.
Okay.
The animes, I love the anime. I love the premise, and I don't really like isekais because
Mhm.
I've never seen Sword Art Online or
You're
lot
not
of-
missing anything.
Oh.
I love Sword Art, bro.
so I've
Sword mid online.
there's not a lot of isekais that I've watched or enjoyed
Mhm.
because I'll start it, I'm like whatever, but like Mushoku Tensei for some reason I like fell in love with,
Mhm.
but it's just too ecchi for me, man.
I know we've talked about that because I love ecchi stuff,
Yeah,
but I know you very much are very boisterous about how much you don't like it.
yeah. I mean, I don't mind it, but if it's like too over the top,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
You know what the demographic that they're kind of
Yeah,
looking for
yeah.
with that.
I get it because he's supposed to be otaku who got reincarnated to
Mhm.
like a little kid, but
Yeah.
then it's like, come on. It's and well, don't get me wrong, too, not just the premise, but the animation is really good on it. If you've even just never seen the trailer, animation is great.
I will say, yeah, it's very smooth with a lot of like its uses of like magic and things like that. Well, of course, we have One Piece coming up next season. One Piece never stops.
What's that?
I know.
Who?
Masamune Kun's Revenge R, which I've watched the first season of.
Okay, I actually don't know what that is.
It's so.
Oh, it's harem. Come on.
So the premise is that the dude used to be like, as a kid, he was really fat and he was made fun of, and so it's his goal to be like really good looking to kind of get revenge on the girl that made fun of him. His goal
So
is
you
to
relate to it a lot.
yeah. His goal was to get good looking and kind of like want her to become his boyfriend, and then he would just go, "No, I'm good. You're kind of ugly." You know
it's
what I
a
mean?
Revenge thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it.
But then what it turns into is it's like that kind of rom-com-y like, oh wait, but I'm kind of falling for her. You know what I mean?
No.
Then we have Devil's a
I
Part-Timer
think
Part
the
2.
only harem anime that I actually enjoyed as a kid was Tenchi Muyo.
We
Man of
yeah.
culture.
Yeah, Tenchi Muyo is classic. Tenchi Muyo is top tier.
Except for the one where he's in space. That one sucks.
Yeah, I remember you said you do not like the space one.
Fuck,
Isn't that part of the whole thing?
He gets like, I forget how he ends up in space, but like the OG has like the demon cat chick in it. It's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
primo.
Yeah.
Ryoko or whatever.
I have a art print of her over here.
Because I know they did a more recent one where it's like Tenchi 20 something or like
Yeah.
more in the future.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
So with that one, I think it's Tenchi's descendant.
Oh god.
Yeah.
No,
And the demon's still alive?
Yeah. I don't think she ever dies.
Oh, that's crazy.
I've been wanting to do a rewatch of Tenchi Muyo.
Mhm.
It's hard to find time to like
Yeah.
watch a series
Fair enough.
that long.
Yeah.
We have Devil's a Part-Timer season
Never
2,
seen it.
which I love. You know, a demon in his final battle with Lancelot, he tells a spell to kind of get transported into a different area, but he ends up getting transported into a different world. It's kind of like a reverse isekai. He gets transported into our world.
Well, but he still keeps all his like stupid powers, right?
No.
No?
He doesn't.
Oh.
And that's the thing is that he doesn't know how our world works, so he has to find a job. Like, he has his, like, servant, which is, like, his best friend, and his servant is like, you can't just hang out and, like, read mangas at home all the time. Like, we need to find a way to kind of grow your empire. But then he doesn't realize that he's also transported Lancelot into this world, too.
Gotcha. Because I'm not really a big fan of those kind of animes where like they, he's like he's too strong,
Mhm.
so he's like, oh, I want to start my life over, but like I forgot what anime it was, but the premise was he was like the demon lord or king of the whole
Mhm.
world or whatever. He's like, oh, it's boring. I want to like start over, but he starts over like 1,000 years in the future,
Mhm.
and with like I think a fraction of his power. But a fraction of his power is still like what he was
Yeah.
back then. And it's like, oh, I'm OP again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, there's no challenges then. Challenges holding back.
So One Punch Man.
Oh wait, what? Oh yeah, I know. This one right here.
Oh, where are they in One Punch Man in the anime?
They only did the second season, which was like the
Oh,
monster shit. So there's
gotcha.
it's
They're
still
a
very
long way.
far behind.
Because I know in the manga, we are like the psychic girl, the
Careful.
lolicon.
Mhm.
Careful, don't spoil it.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
bad, my bad.
Yeah. We have Zom 100 bucket
When
list
you
of
were
the
telling
day.
me that was good.
I'm like pulling for this anime to work so
Is it on
much.
Crunchy?
It's gonna be on Crunchyroll, yeah. So it says usually they say who it's gonna be on.
No, I meant the first season.
This is the first season.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
the first season.
Because I read the manga.
Gotcha.
I read the I think first 10 chapters of the manga. I wanted to go back to it. I read it on stream, but I've yet to kind of go back to it. A guy who's in a kind of what they call a black company. They changed it up for the anime, but he's kind of in a company that works all the time, no breaks, no days off. He
I
goes to
wonder
sleep.
Why they had to change it.
Yeah.
Shout out Mappa.
Oh, it's actually Bug Films. But so he's like, man, I wish I just had a day off. He goes to bed, wakes up, a zombie apocalypse has broken out. Most people would be, oh my god, how do I survive? He goes, oh my god, I do not have to go to work today.
Hell yeah.
What was
I
that
felt
one?
I feel that.
One, it like blew up, but then I think it never got a second season. There's a zombie one where they're in high school.
Did you just literally?
Yeah.
Oh. What was it called?
Isn't it called High School of the Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're like dead, but
that was-
it's in a high school.
That was super edgy.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
like, it was good.
Oh yeah, the sword play in it, the
Yeah,
gunplay
yeah,
in it is good. Like yeah.
Yeah, the sword.
I don't know about the whole.
It's the greatest scene in all of anime.
Hey.
The greatest animation.
I was gonna say there's never been a more like seen on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Rent a Girlfriend season 3. I need to catch up. Great season 1.
Rent a girlfriend.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
like
she's
a
hooker.
So the premise is he's a loner, never been with a girl. Girl's broken up with him, so he's trying to seem like well off with his family. So he rents a girlfriend, and she shows up. They have a really nice time with the parents. They're like, "Oh my god!" She says, "Oh, just tell them that we broke up, so that they kind of think that you're okay." But come to find out, her grandmother is friends with his grandmother. And they're like, oh my god, like, your daughter's going out with my grandson. Or your granddaughter's going out with my grandson, which becomes a big old thing, becomes a rom-com kind of thing. You introduce other girls into play. It's a lot of, like, it's pretty much the stereotypical rom-com kind of thing. Let's see.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Kenshin. That's another, to me, okay.
They can't fuck that up.
So here's another hype versus expectation kind of thing. I want this to work because if anything puts me on edge, it was what they did to Trigun.
Who's Linden Films? What have they done?
I do not know. Let's see.
Because that problem with Trigun is they use that one company that uses the 3D graphics, which...
Oh.
Tokyo Revengers.
Tokyo Revengers. Oh. Okay, I'm down with that.
Right.
Nothing else.
Let's see.
Oh
I don't recognize any of these.
Oh, Cells at Work. That was another popular one.
Oh, yeah, they're in the bodies and every...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing the next season for Terraformers, which that was a pretty good one, I think. Civil Servant, that one was a good one.
Oh, dude, Blade of the
Immortal, yeah.
Oh, dude, if they did that, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but they also did...
What?
Oh, yeah, you already said it. They did Terraform. It's considered one of the worst anime. Of all
Really?
time. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Art style or just story wise?
Have you guys not watched it?
I've never seen it. Yeah. I know one of the things about that. If it's what is it the roach people?
But it's just bad in general.
Oh really?
Like it's just really bad. Like the anime. I don't know if the manga is good or not, but the anime is just.
You
really
can't fuck up Kenshin. It's too grounded in reality.
Mhm.
There's nothing supernatural or like really crazy that happens. The only thing that I would say they could really fuck up on is the actual sword fights. Because the OG anime sword fights were great.
See, but I feel like from what we've seen from them, they shouldn't
No.
do a bad job.
No.
Like, what do you call it was really good. I love Tokyo Revengers. I will die on the hill forever.
The beauty
Yeah,
of
so did
these
that one guy.
series- So if we know, is it following the manga or like is it a complete reboot or
Yeah.
is it?
From what I've heard.
Yeah, because there's no synopsis, which means more than likely it's just going to be a reboot.
Okay.
Because
That's
if
fine.
you think about it, like Kenshin has been, like I remember Kenshin being old when I watched Kenshin,
Mhm.
so it's like maybe it is due for a new generation.
I finished it in the Philippines before I came to
Yeah.
the US, yeah. Because when I finally got here, everyone's like, oh my god, have you seen this new anime called Rurouni Kenshin? That's old.
We have Reborn
Plus-
as a vending machine.
Plus
and
the
now-
live action
yes.
were great.
So if I'm not mistaken, the guy who's playing Zoro,
was in
is in Kenshin. Yes.
Yeah. He's the guy in Kenshin that I forgot his name, the guy with silver hair at the end.
It's been so
Yeah,
long
it's been
since
so
I've seen
long.
Kenshin. We have a
Go
new.
Never mind.
We have a new Fate coming.
Never
Everybody
seen,
loves Fate.
Never seen it.
There's only 2 good series.
I was gonna say yeah, because we talked about Fate a little bit in
Zero and Unlimited Blade Works. And that's it. I am kind of interested in that. Level 1 Demon Lord and 1 Room Hero.
After his embarrassing defeat at the hands of a brave hero, the Demon Lord is back and ready for revenge. But after 10 years apart, the hero Max isn't the dashing do-gooder. Oh, so does that mean the Demon Lord has to be a good guy?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know anything about it.
I like the drawings, like the animation.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
It kind of reminds me of like the art style they were using a little bit for Record of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
What else? Damn, the masterful cat is depressed again today.
That's a Jet anime.
That is a wild title.
Of course, we have a Case Closed, Detective Conan.
I can't believe how long that's been running,
Bro, they love it.
I love Case Closed.
They did a
Is that longer running than
One Piece?
One Piece?
Oh yeah,
Maybe, but I think
96.
the difference would be like the episode counts.
Oh yeah.
I know they did a Gundam collab.
Are we doing Shin-Chan? No, wait.
I think it's just a continuation because it says
Oh,
began
yeah,
spring
yeah,
20
yeah.
or Doraemon.
Too.
Yeah, because I can't see any.
A lot of what's funny too, because like Shin-Chan, a lot of the stuff they do
Mhm.
is like just like nuanced, like Asian kind of like perverted.
Oh, like humor,
humor?
Yeah,
that like we did as kids, but like as I've noticed as Americans watching it, you're like, there's no way people really did this. Yeah, we did, unfortunately.
I think Baki is also in July.
yeah. We did talk about that. Yes, the 26th of July.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of animes in July.
You gotta catch up on Baki.
Yeah.
Pickle, we are about to have so much fun. I don't know how else to describe Baki. Baki is just fun. And like the biscuit stuff was fun, the prison stuff was fun, but we are about to have so much fun. Like I don't know if it's spoilery to talk about Pickle. Because like what he is. Like
Kinda, it's kind of
isn't it?
it's kind of his surprise kind of fun.
Because, like, I mean, at the end, well, you haven't watched.
Yeah.
So, but like, they give you a little, on
Like
him.
intro of what.
Yeah, they like
is to
show
be
him
seen,
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I can't wait. I loved reading through the pickle stuff. So,
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of the highlights for us as far as like the next season. I will probably try to get these guys to watch Zombie 100, or maybe something else because I'm sure. Are we all gonna watch Jujutsu?
Yeah.
Okay, then we can talk about Jujutsu Weekly as well. I know you're gonna probably. Are you gonna watch Mushoku or are you gonna wait till the end?
I'm gonna wait till the end.
Okay.
You can watch Kenshin.
Oh yes, definitely gotta watch Kenshin. Yeah.
If this was a Bleach guy, Mr. Only watched One Piece.
I was gonna say it would be kind of fun to watch the first episode of Kenshin and then watch the first episode of the new one and kind of compare and contrast a little bit.
Is it streaming anywhere? I think it's on Netflix, actually.
Oh, Kenshin, the original Kenshin,
things,
yeah. Netflix has been pulling on their anime stuff, so yeah, I guess we'll get into our kind of weekly discussions.
Yeah.
A few things that we wanted to talk about.
This segment is almost kind of like, oh, this is like something we saw on Twitter that would be kind of cool to talk about, or like we saw something on social media. So like, honestly, if we just see it posted somewhere, we think that it makes for like a good subject, then we thought we could bring it here and just kind of like shoot from the hip about it.
Best leader?
So first one is going to be Chris's, which is who is the best leader in anime or manga?
So I'm pretty sure he'll bring up a pick, but just to like kind of go over who we have: Whitebeard from One Piece, Yamamoto from Bleach, Luffy from One Piece, Pain from Naruto, Griffith, which is wild, from Berserk.
I mean, he was a good leader.
Erwin from Attack on Titan. I know he's from
Daichi
Haikyuu.
from Haikyuu.
Yeah.
Okay. Lush from Code Geass and Crollo from Hunter x Hunter.
So Chris and I talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I've never seen Code Geass.
You guys are missing
So we were talking about it because I've seen the first season. I was telling him I watched Code Geass before there was a second season, and nobody ever knew that there was going to be a second season. So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, it's done." And then here we are.
Listen, you guys gotta watch Code Geass. That's crazy coming from the two Gundam boys.
I honestly, the suits are so unique in Code Geass too.
Yeah.
Like I do
Oh,
like
they have
them.
suits?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because you haven't watched it, I almost feel like Code Geass feels like a little more of a sci-fi or supernatural version of Gundam 00.
Really?
You have kind of like,
I mean, he looks like Setsuna.
yeah, exactly. You have this leader who has this kind of power. I won't give anything too much away about him because if you do end up watching it, I don't want to spoil anything there. But yeah, so
Where do we go? Like,
So,
we get like a top.
Daichi?
Maybe we do worst, and then
I
we
don't know if
also
he's
do
that
like our
much
top
of a
three.
leader, though. As much as he's great for what he does for the team, but I don't think he really leads the.
see
He reels
See?
them in. Which what is a leader? Okay, yeah. Because you didn't finish the manga, right?
I haven't yet,
Okay.
and I was thinking about it because we had a conversation off screen about it because I had guessed what the ending was, and I was like, "Tell me yes or no what the ending is," and I said what it was,
Wait, were
and
you
you're
talking
like,
to me?
"Yeah, I was talking to you."
I don't remember that conversation.
And I was like, "Oh, this is the ending, huh?" And you're like, "Yeah, for the most part. Like, of course, there's more nuance, but yeah, that's what it is." And I was like, "Okay, I see that."
Honestly, out of all the mangas I've read,
Mm.
the ending for Haikyuu is probably the perfect ending for that whole manga.
This guy.
Dude,
No,
honestly.
I'm joking. I don't know.
And I honestly didn't think I'd like a volleyball
Yeah,
fucking
right,
anime
bro.
of all things.
Honestly, Chris, if you ever get the chance to watch it, like,
it's really good.
dude,
Guys.
they were some of the most
Guys.
like on your edge moments sometimes.
Yeah.
Guys, sports anime already peaked at Prince of Tennis. We've had this conversation.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I remember watching Prince of Tennis when I was younger, but
Bro,
I wasn't that much.
Bro,
into it.
when he switched from his right hand
Oh
to
my
his
God.
left hand with his racket,
Oh, no.
it was done. It was over. I was like, I never need to
Hey,
watch
but
sports
you have never seen the Little Giant though, so
That's not his name.
I know it is not.
Oh, when he learned how to jump?
I know. When this man went vertical, he went vertical, bro.
Okay.
So should we kind of like, because I'm not gonna be able to talk about really the Berserk stuff, the Bleach stuff.
Yeah.
We've already talked about the Haikyuu stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say if like maybe we want to give like who we think the worst on there is, but then also give like 2 or 3 that we think are the best. That might work, and then we can kind of.
So I'm
debate.
biased because I don't like Attack on Titan. I've never seen Code Geass.
Well, yeah, I mean, you clearly just
Yeah.
talk about the ones you know.
And what's his name? Crollo?
Yeah.
Wasn't he only in the first season?
So
No.
I've never read the manga.
my question, because we were talking about Crollo first as like kind of the worst, but my only question is, technically, like, I'm not caught up on the Hunter x Hunter manga, so I don't know if he's outshone anything that way.
Right.
But yeah, Crollo isn't that strong to
Yeah.
me in this current
So
conversation.
like, where are we? Like, are we done with like Chimera Ant stuff? Because we don't have to talk about.
I've read the whole anime, or I've only watched the whole anime.
You heard it here, folks.
He's read.
I've
all
read
over
the anime. Well, I do read because it's in Japanese.
Oh wow! Okay. I've actually watched or read some of the continuation.
I don't believe you. You just said red.
Because I love Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, and they eventually do have their battle, which is fucking gruesome.
Yeah.
And I've just gone up to there,
Okay.
but I haven't gone any further than that.
I mean, I still think that that's far enough because I know Crollo makes a statement about like, without the head, the legs will still move or something like that. It's not that he's a bad leader. It's just like he might be closer to the bottom because like because the way that like I forget
The Phantom Troop.
The Phantom Troop works is that like you're in it because you were the strongest in that group of like from where they were.
Yeah.
So like who's to say that if one of them was stronger, they just ice Crollo and take his spot?
If they were
See, but
stronger,
that's-
Sasuke would have never beat them all.
But the understanding that even though Crollo, if somebody did get stronger, Crollo would still be considered leader because of the support that they have for him. I think is speaks more to like the group dynamic.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, because you do see kind of in the New York City kind of like heist arc that like each of them do tend to kind of get.
Spoilers! I don't know any of this.
It's in the anime.
Which part?
It's during the bidding when they steal all the stuff.
Oh yeah.
You do see a lot of them kind of tend to go off the edge, and Crollo has to be like, "Hey, remember our goal. Remember what we're here to do."
But how much is that? Is like they know that if they step out of line, Crollo will just straight up ice them.
And that is,
I mean, I guess that could speak to his
leadership out of fear. You know what I mean?
But see, that's what I mean. Like, if one of them was stronger and decided to kill them, then like they would become de facto leader at that point too. That's my only kind of like grievance with like Crollo or putting him high. But if I was gonna say worst leader, it's Griffith.
Not just because of that one.
So there is the most pivotal scene in all of Berserk where he just showed, but I mean, he mentioned it beforehand. That's why Guts left. Guts left because he was like, I don't see anyone as my equal. He didn't really view them as friends. He views them as a means to an end. So like, yeah, on one hand, I guess you could argue that like other leaders have done that too. Because Erwin's kind of in that case. Like he knew like, yeah, we have to go out here and like die, but we have to die so the day can be won. But that's the thing. He was doing it not thinking of himself. He was being was being selfless in making that sacrifice. Griffith just wanted power. And so like Griffith's whole thing was like he just wanted to win, regardless of what it meant or how he had to do it. He just wanted to win. And so he was willing to use anyone, even himself, to get there. And it's like that does show a lot of conviction, but that doesn't show, I feel like, the traits of a great leader, right? So that's why, like, he probably would have my vote for the worst, personally. Who do you think's the worst, Jay?
I agree. It's Griffith.
All right. So, like, do we want to talk about some of our, like, front runners for best? I'm going to tell you who's not. Listen, Whitebeard and fucking Pain, get the fuck out of here, boy. let's go ahead and let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about your boy.
Well, I'm not defending Whitebeard, but I'm defending Pain. Because if you can get guys that strong to work together for one cause or one mission, that's pretty fucking good.
So, most of those guys are runaway ninjas.
Yes.
Looking for a place to find camaraderie. So, like, in a way,
I wouldn't say that.
I think that plays. I think that plays a role.
Even like Datara, who's a perfect example. He's like, I'm pretty sure that's his name. He goes in there and he's like, I just wanted a place to make my art. I just wanted my place to like make explosive art. And so it's like, okay, yeah, he's found a group that allows him to just run wild. Because even then, think about it, aren't they all technically manipulated by Obito?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then how great of a leader are you?
True.
Man, and I don't even fucking watch Naruto like that.
No, I think what it is, I guess from the shadows, he's not bad, but that's also kind of the issue for me. Is like, as a leader, I guess if your ability to get other people to follow you is great, then on some level you are a great leader. But if you're never at the forefront until like the plan has come, like, okay, well, none of you can catch Naruto, so I guess I'll do it. It's like,
but it also shows how strong he is. He doesn't have to step up until he really needs to.
well, we didn't know he was strong until he actually did something.
Yeah.
Because like,
But
I think that was.
Then we found out that those aren't even his powers anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. Pain's a hard one because like, and I know we're gonna catch flack for that because Pain is like top 5 characters in the series. I love Pain as a character, but like as a leader, I think he's kind of more in the middle. And same thing with Whitebeard. Like, I don't think Whitebeard is per se a terrible leader, but the fact that like
that's not even Pain. That's a meat puppet.
See, well, the image is technically of Conan. That's who they're talking about.
Hey man, if Conan asked me to do some wild shit, I might be like, sure thing, girl. Where you sending me?
And the thing with Whitebeard is we never really see his leadership skills. We just see him wanting to build a family.
See,
We
and
know
that's the
everyone
thing.
loves him.
Yeah.
But we don't know why.
Yeah. Well, the other problem is like I feel like as a leader, like, yo, Blackbeard ices one of your boys, and you're just like, it's okay.
See, I think that comes from a place of like
sick.
being a parent
Yeah, he does.
to these people who
he
are
does
like,
look at him like a son.
yeah, to where it's like, no matter
Yeah,
what,
even problematic.
yeah,
it's like
no
he's
matter
still
how
son.
bad my son does, he's still my son,
Yeah.
and eventually he will get answered. You know what I mean?
Great father, bad leader.
That's
Yes.
very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Because he also let Ace die. That's his fault. That is his fault. That is his fault. Let's talk about it. Oh, we could have ended that shit.
See, but then I think that comes to a point to where like I feel like going into that, it is very much respect for what's coming in the next generation.
Yo,
For him not to come up
this
and
guy.
be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna tear shit down." You know what I mean?
My son is my son until he like.
Because
is
even
gonna die.
homeboy, like another son comes back behind his back and is like, "I'm sorry, father." You know what I mean? It's just like he's like, "Don't worry, bro, I got you."
Ow.
My pain is your pain.
No, I feel pretty okay,
I know.
man.
He said, "No,
Honestly-
I feel the pain in your heart."
I think Yamamoto is the best.
Yeah. You know what?
Because he leads through power, fear, and
Respect.
respect. Great overall leadership throughout the whole
And he's
spectrum.
at the front of the line because he was probably going to be my top, but I did want to kind of give some like flowers to Luffy and to Erwin.
Because as much as of a goofball Luffy is, he is a great leader.
When it's down to battle, he's down.
Because he's such an incredible people person. Like, he understands people on such a fundamental level and what they actually want that, like, it shoots him so high. And his willingness to just, like, be at the front line for any and everyone that, like, he cares about. And that's kind of why I like Yama, too, because, like, when shit hits the fan and war breaks out, Yama is there, bro. It does not matter. And even in situations where it's like, oh well, if he wanted Rukia to get executed, he could have easily, but he probably didn't. But he was following the law set up by the Gote. So, but he still removed himself from the scenario by fighting the other two.
Yeah.
So like even in that sense of being a great leader, of like this is wrong what we're doing, even though I have to do it because that is my job. But if I just so happen not to be there when they save her, oh well. It's like, yeah, like that's why he ranks so high. But like I could totally see people going out to bat for Luffy.
I think going into it, because we all know where my allegiances lie in this, is
Whitebeard.
I think Luffy, like you said, not only can figure out what people's goals are, but I think as a leader, he also is able to step back and let his crew step up when they need to step up.
Yeah, which is also an incredible leader thing, to just like know your crew well enough to have faith in them to take care of the things they need to take care of, and vice versa.
We've talked about that.
Knowing when they're not being honest.
Yeah.
We've talked about that with, like you said, not being honest with the Usopp situation. Mm-hmm. When he knows Usopp will go, like, is
but
strong
he can't
enough.
Figure out who Sogeking is.
Bro, does anybody? Does anybody know who Sogeking King is?
One of the greatest mysteries left. We got the ancient weapons. Who's him? So
what can Dragon really do?
Yeah. Yeah,
because that Robin team, bro. Oh, it still gets me.
Yeah. Like, and the thing is too is that, like, a lot of people do. Oh man, I wish Luffy would just end the battle. I wish Luffy would just end it real quick and he's done. But it's like, if you do that, you have no progression of these other characters.
Yeah.
Like, and I beg for Luffy to be so supported and supportive of his crew. We would have
not just even his crew. There's people that support him.
Being the only one, because that's the other thing. Luffy is willing to say to people what other people are afraid to.
Yeah.
Because like even with Vivi, with Momo.
Dude, the scene with him and Kinemon when they just got trashed by Dragon and
bro.
Yeah. Dude, when he walks over, that's
yeah.
So good.
We would never get moments like nothing happened without Luffy being who he is.
Even like when Sanji has to like beat the shit out of him, and he's like, "I'm not going anywhere,
bro.
I'm saying right
not
here."
going anywhere.
Eats the food.
Never gonna eat,
the food
bro.
part is
Never
so
gonna
good.
eat.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, man, like Luffy is up there. He's probably second, or he would be if it wasn't for that speech that Erwin gave. No, Luffy's probably 2. But then then there's Erwin, and I put Erwin so high because like, bro, like that speech, that it's one of the best speeches in anime. I don't care. Like it's so good. Like when he convinces them to ride out to sure death, so Levi has a chance to stop the fucking Beast Titan.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Bro, like
I think it's like the last things I've seen out of.
Dude,
Attack
it's
on
so
Titan.
good. Yeah, like honestly, after that's season 3, I want to say. After
What do you call it? Came out today too. I think the trailer for the final episode.
Oh God.
They lost me as a watcher.
Like even as much as I don't like Attack on Titan, I did finish the manga, so I do know what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, that speech is so good. And then like that was always Erwin's thing. Is like Erwin was willing to do what needed to be done for the betterment of like, and that's the difference between him and Griffith. It's like he understood sacrifice.
Total opposites.
Yeah, like he understood sacrifice, but he understood sacrifice in the sense of like it's for the greater good of the people as a whole.
Not
like
only
humanity.
that, but as a leader, he is honestly the whole series trampled on by every single person in Paradise.
Oh yeah,
because they're like, this guy's getting our people killed.
Yeah,
this guy's getting our people killed. But he's like, but there has to be a cost.
Yeah, you guys are still wrong. It's Daichi, man. If you had to rein in Hinata and
I like I said, I do love. I think what sets Daichi in a different league than a lot of these, or keeps Daichi from being in the league of these other people,
because he's the most grounded out of all.
Exactly, like Daichi is a real person dealing with real like.
So what I hear is he's a little bitch, a little bitch playing volleyball. What a nerd! And he go also, out there and fight giant zombie
on the
people.
team. He also has to be not just the leader, like outside, but like he has to rally them in the game
Oh,
keep
bro.
him focused, all that stuff.
Them, and I feel like this is some of the last stuff that I watched, so of course I'm talking about this stuff. But like when Daichi gets hit in the face,
Oh,
and all of them just want to be like, we have to hold it up so that when he comes back, we've had no problem. We don't want him to worry, even though he's probably worrying about us.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool, like let's make sure he's cool. And then when he does come back and he sees that like they've held their own, he's like, okay, like this is our team. Like this is why I am here.
yeah, give it a shot, dude.
No, I'm joking. It seems really good. I've seen clips from it. It seems really. Honestly, a lot of the sports anime seem really good.
Yeah. I'm surprised a lot more people don't give sports animes a shot because a lot of them are fucking solid.
Yeah, they all look amazing.
The thing for me at first was like volleyball.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. It's at least it's not a good sport like at least soccer or basketball or.
Oh yeah, we're Blue Lock guys. So,
Oh fuck!
yeah.
I still need to catch up,
Same.
I haven't started it yet.
bro. It's so good.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Like I joke, but I think the reason that because I do understand a lot of people kind of being against, because it's almost like what I talk about like 2K games and Madden.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I sit down and like play this like hyper realistic game, or why would I watch this anime that's just about people playing a normal sport? But like, I think it's just easy for me because like I joke about it, but Prince of Tennis really made that shit because like yeah, it's about tennis, bro. But like it's so good in the way that they deliver certain things. It doesn't feel like he's just playing tennis.
I was gonna say I forgot who it is. I was talking about it in a Discord, but who is it that's doing it? They're doing a hockey manga,
Oh,
and I'm like, oh damn, okay. Because the
Yeah.
last hockey kind of any anime manga anything that we got was an idol anime. Yeah, it was an idol anime where it was a group of idols, but they needed to keep the hockey team afloat. And so they convinced the idols that in the halftime, which there is no halftime in hockey, they would dance and sing. I tried it out. It just wasn't for me.
yeah, it sounds.
You lost me at halftime in hockey.
Yeah.
It was only 3 quarters.
Yeah. Well, 3 periods.
Period.
Oh, brother.
So let's get into the next one. This was mine. So every MC, episode 1, strength, who would be the strongest? We have Naruto episode 1, Ichigo episode 1, Luffy episode 1, I forget his name. Asta episode 1 from Black Clover, Yuji episode 1, Natsu episode 1, Ken from Tokyo Ghoul episode 1, Edward Elric, and Gon.
Oh, that's not fair. It's Edward Elric.
Episode 1.
Really?
Off the bat, he's already like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like a regular guy.
What? No, he knows how to.
I know.
I'm like-
He transmutes and makes sticks out of
no,
metal.
don't tell me. Are you?
What?
I was gonna say you like.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I love.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, don't do this to me.
I love Full Metal.
I know.
What would make you?
I know. This man's a buster, but I love him.
Because out of all of those guys, I think season or episode 1, he's the only one that really knows what he's doing.
Okay, a couple things, right?
Okay.
Luffy beats a sea monster. Ichigo gets his Zanpakuto and all of his Shinigami, or gets his Shinigami powers.
But that's him weak.
Naruto learns how to use summon 100 Shadow Clones. They might be weak to some people. They might be weak, but they are 100 Shadow
100
Clones.
ants is not that.
Asta could blitz him.
See, but then we also brought up too Yuji Sukuna in the first episode.
And knowing what he is too
Yeah.
later on. Okay, never mind.
The
I might have jumped the gun on that.
The
one.
only person that gets blicked very beginning is
He's
Ken.
gone, and gone.
Oh yeah.
and Gon.
Yeah.
And that's because we just don't see Gon do enough in the
Yeah.
first episode. Like, because we could
Wait,
take
who's the
2 different.
guy.
Natsu.
I don't know who that is.
Not
But
Natsu.
He brought up a really good point with Natsu before, though, is that like he's
What
the
anime is
personification of a dragon fairy tale.
Yeah,
that? Oh, I've never seen it.
yeah, he's
I've-
quite literally a dragon.
I've actually seen like half of the first season.
Who's the guy on the bottom? I can't see his face.
Here,
Tokyo Ghoul.
that's Ken from Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh.
Yeah, so like if we want, we could take this. We could do the first episode, and then we could talk about like potential. Like we know what we know they're capable of doing later in this.
Yeah, but you can't do that because the battle is first episode.
No, I'm saying we can do both. We can do both.
I do not want a power scale like that, and I know you want to goat me into that, but I'm not gonna do that.
You're no fun.
First episode? Really looking at it?
Well, okay, so
Yuji.
because I'm listen, so Natsu is a fucking dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen that, so I don't know.
I know, but like,
So
outside, I would say outside of Natsu because Natsu like
yeah.
he can like eat flames. He's like magical. Like he's literally a dragon.
So like his little scarf is made out of dragon scales.
Also, it blocks any fire.
Exactly, yeah.
So like
And it
So
will
Sasuke is useless.
well, even then he's impervious to fire
Mhm.
because he's a dragon.
yeah, so like Natsu's kind of cracked.
Wait, you learned that first episode?
Yeah. Yeah, so like Natsu's kind of cracked. So I would say outside of Natsu.
Because Natsu is almost like I would consider Natsu a like when you get into like main characters of like A B. So like Luffy would be an A character, like, and then Kobe would be his B in the first episode. Natsu is the B character to is it Lucy?
Yeah.
Because Lucy is learning about this world, to where Natsu's
Gotcha.
been in this world.
Natsu's cracked. Well,
That's crazy that I know that. It's only-
because
And then Ken is just a regular dude in the first episode, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just gets eaten.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. If anything, Ken gets worse in the first episode because that's
Yeah.
when he gets his stomach ache
Yeah.
from
'cause he-
becoming a ghoul.
yeah, because he refuses to like eat
Yeah.
meat or a human or whatever.
Well, he like doesn't know
Then-
until like
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
he fights old boy
Yeah.
and summons it, and in a very gory scene. So he's probably last. Ken is probably last because I can't remember if we see Gon throw hands at all.
He's just a kid, like a strong kid, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what they did in the first episode because if Gon threw hands in the first episode, he's beating Ken.
Oh, Gon beats Ken for sure.
If we're talking
First episode.
well,
does he throw hands in the first episode?
First episode is.
That's what I'm saying. I can't remember. I know he pulls the fish up and takes it to market, the giant fish. So he's relatively strong.
He's like Luffy strong.
isn't the first episode just the ship, them getting on the ship?
Them
to,
getting
like,
on, yeah. So I don't.
But
I-
it shows his background, like in the wilderness, surviving.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't see him throw hands.
Yeah.
So I don't know how good of a combatant he is if we're just looking.
like if anything, it just shows that he's really good at fishing.
He's strong too. If he can...
Yeah, I was gonna like he is pretty
Yeah.
strong. So maybe that's a knock against.
I would
like,
say
his kin
first
doesn't do-
episode, Gon and Luffy would be in the same boat. as far
No,
as
because
level.
Luffy literally knocks out a sea.
Yeah,
Oh.
Luffy's not only his strength but his dexterity in the
Oh.
match. Because
Okay, what I meant to say was, Gon would be like what Kid Luffy had to go through with acing them in the jungle.
yeah, I could see that.
Oh no, man! Kid Luffy stabbed himself.
That's true.
It's pretty gore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because even I would say going up against
Alvida.
Yuji.
Oh yeah, he eats that slam from Alvida
Yeah.
too.
Luffy going up against Yuji, he gets to just
That was
cage
first
him.
episode?
What, Alvida? Yeah. Alvida, Kobe, because Romance Dawn Shank stuff isn't like until episode 5.
Fuck, you're right.
So Luffy's not too bad in this list, excluding Natsu.
Never mind.
Now I will say I did think about it. So I know you haven't seen Black Clover. Asa, his power, he doesn't have magic. Everyone has magic. He doesn't have.
Yeah,
magic.
okay, I remember that.
He gets anti-magic.
Oh, okay.
So would that negate Natsu?
Yes.
Would he be able to beat
yeah,
Natsu?
yeah.
So
In a world of magic and you have anti-magic,
but then you end up with like a fucking rock paper scissors situation because Asa's not beating Ichigo. He's not.
Yeah.
I don't think he's beating Luffy either.
oh no.
In the first episode,
No.
because like he's physically peak for a
Because
human,
I was going to say,
but he doesn't.
Not yet, though.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't get strong or he doesn't work on his physique until later.
Well, he
Yeah.
gets they do like a time skip and he gets even more ripped. But like in the show, they already set up because everyone has
Oh,
magic.
yeah, because
He's already like
he had to
physically
compensate. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Oh,
you're
so
right.
he's Might Guy. Like,
kind of yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
basically,
yes.
yeah.
He's Rock Lee.
yeah, Rock Lee, that's what I meant.
He has to compensate for not having magic, so he works out all the time and
Mhm.
all that stuff. Yeah. It's been a while since I.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like if we give him the ability to just negate whatever the power system from that
Because,
series is.
okay, if anything, I feel like we could eliminate the bottom row
Yeah.
because that bottom row could easily be negated through either physical or endurance.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing too, is that Edward still has to transmute, and if he has nothing to transmute, then
Yeah. And he's pretty average physically. Like, I think he's just like a very in shape.
if anything,
He might be the most human.
yeah. Honestly, he might be the shortest person there too.
Damn, shorter than Kid Gone?
No, I'm saying the rest of the group.
I was like-
The rest of the group. Because he's
Asta's pretty short.
Oh,
It's
is
a
he?
running gag
Okay.
in the series.
because
So
what
they're probably
like
about
the same as well as young Naruto.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Like 5'5".
So
Hey, man, that's tall.
I feel like we haven't really reached who would win. It's
Well-
just we have like our major biases for each of our characters. though.
I think Natsu handedly is probably the strongest first episode.
But he gets negated by Asta.
Yeah, but like if we do that, then we have a rock paper scissors situation,
Mhm.
and I don't think that's.
So let's scenario is fucking battle royale. You put them all on thing, only one survives. Who wins? Battle royale.
I think
Natsu.
as much as what do you call it, as much of the shadow clones can go, I feel like at that time the shadow clones are still like
Weak. Yeah.
very weak. So a big Luffy like move gets that out of there really quick.
We only see him throw one. We only see him throw pistol, right?
Which
So
pistol's big.
If Naruto runs, I guess, directly at him with all the shadow clones in a line,
And you know he will.
and then like if they're all just like single filed in a fucking line, and Luffy's like, okay.
So I would say that knocks Naruto out because remember, even then when he's using the shadow clones, he his chakra drains, and he
Well-
just passes out, doesn't he?
I don't know. Yeah,
Shadow
because like
Clone
his whole
divides
thing
his-
is that he's like got
Oh,
crazy
yeah,
chakra
that's true.
reserve.
Shadow Clone divides his total chakra
Mhm.
into everything evenly.
Mm.
But he is an Uzumaki. He does have.
Yeah,
We're not doing that.
that's
If it's not seen first episode, it is not a
because
thing.
we don't know what the Uzumakis are
Yeah.
by that time.
Oh, what about Ichigo? He's a Shinigami, right?
Yeah. So technically, they wouldn't be able to see him,
And
but that wouldn't be fair.
would he be able to attack real people?
That's a good question.
Oh, because
Because he's a ghost.
whoa.
But his spiritual pressure does affect people in the real world.
But does he have special pressure right
yes,
then?
as soon as yeah,
he gets
has
in
it.
the first episode.
Yeah, he has it like in his human form. Now the thing is, like, if you want to argue that well, he wouldn't be able to control it to the level to just like, because he literally could just like flex spiritual pressure and make everyone pass out.
In the first episode?
Well, I'm saying like,
No, I know,
Yeah.
I know that, but
yeah,
like
well,
in-
if he could control it, but I don't
Yeah.
think. But that's something we wouldn't know he could do in the first episode because he just transforms and immediately like destroys the Hollow.
yeah.
So
But what I'm asking, since people can't really see Shinigamis,
yeah,
could he, like a Hollow, physically touch people,
I can't remember if we ever see them do something like that.
especially in just the first episode?
Yeah.
So would
'Cause I
that just
wanna
rule him
say-
out?
Well, I would assume because, like, yeah, if we were gonna be super literal, then
Mhm.
yes. But I assume that like everyone's able to see each other and
Gotcha.
sense each other and fight each other. Which, if that's the case, see, the other problem with like Luffy hitting people with the pistol in the first episode is like they all just literally stand still and take it. And like in most of these other shows, these guys do dodge.
But out of all of these guys,
But but that is also another thing though, is that Luffy can eat punches.
He's got a sword, and Luffy can get
Luffy
slashed.
can get slashed, yes.
Yeah.
But
we don't know if anti-magic affects Devil Fruit. Just kidding.
I would say no.
Yeah, it's specifically anti-magic, so I would say it doesn't work on spiritual pressure, chakra, nin, any of that stuff.
Gon doesn't have Nin first episode, right?
That's
I know
true,
he does
yeah.
not.
He's straight up just a kid.
Yeah, no, he's a fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is gonna come down to bias because, like, I would probably say Ichigo.
Because as much as I would say,
Because in first episode, you see Yuji even before
That's what I'm
eating
saying.
Finger,
yeah,
Yuji
is
has
crazy.
yeah.
especially learning what he is after.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think for me at least, it would either be Luffy or Yuji that's coming out on top.
Yeah.
And
But see-
especially since first episode, he eats the fucking finger.
Yeah, he eats the finger, and I think we get the beginning of the Gojo Sukuna battle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, we get the whole battle.
Is it first
Is
episode?
that the first episode?
Yes.
Oh shit!
On
Then,
the high school?
if that's the case, then
I don't think that.
because it's not
Is it?
magic, it's cursed energy.
It
is cursed energy. So Asta literally is only good in one scenario.
Yeah, really.
Um,
As well as we see Sukuna, like Sukuna in
Only
Yuji's
the-
body can pretty much eat anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the fire thing really doesn't matter because he has curse healing.
See, we don't. I guess I don't know. That one's kind of hard
yeah.
because like some of the stuff they do take. Because like, how comparable is Yuji to like a Hollow with Sukuna? Because Ichigo like handily defeats the Hollow. Like it's not even close. And then like he breaks out of a Retsu from a trained like Shinigami with no training.
Were they trying, though?
It's a seal technique. So like once you
Oh.
do a Hado, it just like the Hado just does it. And he just like I won't say no diffed it, that would be mean, but he just kinda like powers up like a Super Saiyan and
Mhm.
snaps it.
Yeah.
So it's like it depends on how like that stuff correlates over, I guess.
I'm just
But
trying to
I am
figure out Jujutsu Kaisen if that did happen in the first episode.
but with Sukuna, I think yeah, Itadori might take it though. It's because like Sukuna does but then again that's looking at other episodes. Because in the first episode, I think he does just like physically destroy the demon they're fighting.
Yeah. That's the last 5 minutes. That's the fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I was
he's
gonna
like-
say, because remember, doesn't so you have that battle, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the next episode, he wakes up in the curse room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's Yuji.
yeah, I think it's Yuji, bro.
It's Yuji.
Yeah,
'Cause the
with
only way-
yeah.
He got stopped was because Gojo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for real.
And because Yuji can stop him.
Yeah.
But he literally said, "Give me 5 minutes," and he still fucking went all out.
So yeah, I think because we're already a little over an hour, I think that's a great episode. We've talked about a lot of stuff. We've gotten discussions on quite a few things.
Stayed a little bit more
Yeah,
informed this time.
yeah, yeah. I think that was a great episode. If you guys liked it, make sure you hit it with a like, sub down below for more. My hope is next week we will be back here. But next week I more than likely will be becoming a father.
Yes,
No,
Uh,
you have to wait till July 12th.
12th? Oh, because the chapter comes out the 10th.
No, it's my birthday.
Oh. Wow. Wow. But the chapter does come out the 10th, doesn't it? So if we are back here, we more than likely will be talking about the new One Piece chapter. We will be choosing new topics to talk about. And new animes will have started as well.
Yep.
So we will probably be talking about that as well. So stay tuned. Like I said, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, make sure to comment, and subscribe for the next one. I've been Moustache.
Later.
Jay, later.
Peace.
Where is it?